DC the boys, Alabama Prisoner Profiles. What's going on with y'all, man? Make sure y'all like and subscribe, man. And if you feeling generous, go ahead and donate to that little Cash App and that little PayPal in the bio and in the description. Make sure y'all go ahead and hit that join button and become a member of the family for $2, man. Stop playing. Man, channel's really starting to bust, right? Starting to pick up some little traction, right? And so I want to take this little sec to appreciate y'all, right? Now we're going to be getting into part 2 of the Dixieland Probation Officer episode, story, whatever you want to call it. You know, he said he's going to give these to me in his spare time because he now has another career that keeps him pretty busy. So I saw somebody requested it the other day, so I got that dude and had him, you know what I'm saying, send me another story for me to, you know what I'm saying, produce, right? So here we go. Now that y'all have gotten a preview on the beginning of the day for a Dixieland Probation Officer, we're going to keep moving right along, getting to some of these incidents that happened during my time on the job, starting with house arrests and sex offenders. Monday morning at the office again. I'm in the big office, as we called it, chopping it with some of the co-workers before I open the floodgates, also known as the front door. As time creeps closer to work, I start to top off my coffee. Work release has been short lately, a senior officer touts. I walk back around the corner to the front door. Ready? I tell my coworker. I guess so, she says. Mondays, I think to myself. I open up the door to about 10 to 15 clients and throw out the clipboard. Morning, mister. Name redacted. Good morning, mister. Name redacted. How about them balls? He says. How about that crimson tide? I snap back. This particular client, as well as over half waiting in line, was a sexual offender. Let me rewind a little bit to describe the strenuous supervision for sex offenders designed by my hard-nosed, no-nonsense director. The director in question was a 60-something-year-old, 6'5", 300-pound former Vietnam veteran, police officer, and correctional officer who tolerated no bullshit, period. Man didn't play the damn radio. A large, jovial man, he would often crack jokes and always seemed to be happy. You didn't want to see this man pissed off. Despite this being a rural county and with the majority of the clients, I'm sure, referring to me as... This man was a breath of fresh air, having depended on black and brown men who fought beside him in the war to make it out alive. He saw no color. Back to him being hard-nosed and no-nonsense, this was projected on the sex offender specifically, among other types of clients, but sex offenders specifically. For example, the majority of those 10 to 15 clients report every Monday. The director stipulated that no matter what type of supervision they're under, even if it wasn't the charge they were being supervised for by us, it was mandatory all sexual offenders wear electronic ankle monitoring device no matter what. No exceptions. His idea was if they do something while wearing the bracelet, they'll be dead to rights in court, thus ensuring they end up somewhere in between heaven and hell. That place being the Alabama Department of Corrections. These offenders report every Monday, like I said, and pay $70 a week for the ankle monitor, $40 once a month for to quote-unquote supervise them, and any other fees associated with their supervisions like classes, drug tests, fines, etc. They had to pay for it. Many clients being in this poor area I saw over the years were returned to the county jail for failure to keep up with paying these wild-ass fees. Crazy, I thought to myself. I called the first one in, and it's the guy that just spoke to me at the window about the Tennessee Balls. This kid was just 22 years old, just a couple years younger than me at the time, and we would chop it up every week talking about college football until I clicked on his case number in the top right one day being bored while entering extra notes. This kid was on bond for essentially stimulating a younger relative of his sexually. A toddler, for Christ's sake. Fucking sick, I thought to myself at the time. This kid should be phrase redacted. After that, I never had much to say to him again. Other than that, I could see us hanging out outside of work before learning the details of his case. Crazy shit. I verify his information is the same and document where he plans to go during the week. The next guy I saw had a similar case. 50 years old, Jabba the Hutt on a Harley Davidson type. Either always in a filthy hoodie or in his riding leather. Think I can make it to the races at City Redacted this weekend? I don't know about that, mister. Name redacted. I'll go ask the boss. I say, knowing good and hell well, my boss doesn't let this dude go anywhere but doctor's appointments and to the courthouse for these appointments weekly. I get up, walk to the back, and knock on the boss's door to relay the information. The director doesn't even look up from his desk knowing what the deal is with me. In order to keep up appearances as working for the clients as opposed to against them, I would often run their inevitably denied requests up the chain anyways. As I just mentioned, I knew the director's answer was going to be hell nah, but to keep them in good graces with me, I got my ass up instead of just telling him what I already knew. Taking a deep breath, I walked back to the desk to relay the news. "This is horse shit, mister." Name redacted. "I did 6 years in that motherfucker with them animals on my head every day. And I've been wearing this motherfucker for the last 9 years. No new arrest, no failed drug test, no nothing." In my head, I low-key don't see the issue with him going to some backyard dirt track races, but then it dawned on me that children would be present, as this guy had one of those kid diddling cases as well, if I'm remembering correctly. It might have also been a relative. Piece of shit, I think to myself. As time went on in my career, I developed a different mindset about these type of offenders. But in the beginning, in order to further fit in with these white folks, I just sort of initially adopted the mentality, though I originally wanted to help these folks. Even went as far as putting a country twist on my own vernacular in order to be more effective. This has stuck with me till this day. "Sorry about that, mister. Name redacted. You ain't got much longer with that thing on your leg. Hang in there." "Thanks, mister." Name redacted. "Everyone treats me so fucked up around here except you." "You're still a human being," I tout condescendingly. He grabs his helmet, gets up and walks out. Mondays, I think to myself. "We got one, son." A senior officer taps me on the shoulder. "What we got?" I respond. "Mr. Name redacted hasn't reported to check in this morning, isn't answering the phone." Finally some action, I think to myself. At this time, I'm still relatively new when this situation takes place, so I'm itching to get out of the office and into the field. "What's his bracelet showing?" I asked the senior officer as we're gearing up to walk out the door. "Says fully charged, but he hadn't left the house all weekend according to metrics. He also didn't report today and didn't answer in the phone or the bracelet pings." These bracelets track locations through satellite and are set up to be as accurate as much as a couple feet. You go to check your damn mail and walk too far into the street, and me and other officers are getting texts and emails about the activity, as well as attempts to tamper with the bracelet, which were always evident, or at least that's what I was told initially. Me and the senior officer hop in the company vehicle and start the drive. As we drive through the rural county headed out to the offender's residence, I admire beautiful farmland. These folks' lives are so simple, I thought to myself. Work a normal, probably manual labor job, take care of their family, occasionally get arrested for drugs and or alcohol or domestic violence cases. Some of these people clearly have no drive or expectations from others to do something better with their lives, and that was a sentiment I envied about these people. With big dreams of my own of becoming a hot shot career redacted, I bask in how nice it'd be if there was no expectation for me to elevate myself. Just be a normal person. Sounds like a better life to me, I thought. "Just up here," the senior officer touts. The house we pull up to is actually decent looking with a nice change from the many trailers we passed on the way. We pulled into the driveway. "Stay here while I check it out," the senior officer says. You're right, I think to myself, as I hop out of the vehicle and join him on the front porch, standing to the side of the door in case a 12-gauge blast cuts us in half from the other side. After a couple of seconds, we hear a sweet old woman's voice holler, "Just a minute, I'm coming." The door opens to at least an 80-year-old woman. "Morning, Miss Name redacted. I'm Officer Name redacted. This is my partner, Name redacted. We're here to speak with your grandson." "Of course," she says sweetly. "Come on in. Would you like something to drink? Sweet tea?" "No, ma'am, we're fine, thank you," the senior officer answers. "Okay, but as he walks out, the senior officer pulls out his handcuffs. "Pay attention here, Rook. You might learn you something, son." I smirk at him as the old woman comes walking back into the room. "He's not here. I guess he's with his friends." "I see. His bracelet says he's been home all weekend, and he didn't report this morning like usual." "Bracelet?" she says. It's an electronic home monitoring device, ma'am. Would you happen to know where it might be? Ignoring the question, she says, "Is that a second?" She walks to a different room in the house and comes back with the bracelet and charger. The charger looks fine. The bracelet is covered in this yellow, slippery substance. To me Friday, said he was going out and to make sure I kept this charge for him all weekend. I thought it was some kind of video game, she says, sounding exactly like Hank Hill. The senior officer puts his cuffs away, steps out of the way, and tells me to get the charger and bracelet from the old woman. I'm so sorry, she says. I'm too sick to attend his court dates. I don't know what's going on. I thought they took all his electronics. The senior officer walks over as I'm holding this equipment, getting whatever this substance is all over my suit jacket. He leans down and smells the bracelet. What in the blue fuck, I think to myself. He then takes his finger and rubs it across the strap, which looks immaculate with the exception of the substance covering it. The man then sticks his finger in his mouth. I back the fuck up at this point, thinking, sweet Jesus, this man has lost it. Pulling his finger out of his mouth, making a few smacking noises, he then pauses. Butter, he says. Goddamn butter. No way, I thought. This man had covered the entire bracelet in butter and slid it clean off his ankle with minimum to no damage or notifications to the satellite. Wow, I think to myself. Mondays, huh? Thank you so much, ma'am. If you hear from him, let me know. If he comes back, just give us a call, he says, handing her his card. Let's go, Rook. We start walking out of the house. When we pass the threshold and the door closes, I say to the senior officer, now what? You'll see, Rook. Guy's got an electronic solicitation and child porn charge. Those types of people run in the same circles despite the different walks of life they may come from. I know a guy who might know where we can find him. We need to go see him. Well, all right then, I say, putting my seatbelt on. Mondays, I think to myself. There y'all have it, man. That's gonna do it for part 2 of a day in the life of a Dixieland probation officer, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section, man. Like, comment, subscribe, Cash App, PayPal. Hit the join button, become a member. DC the Boys, Alabama Prisoner Profiles.